In this video, we'll talk about 7 habits that allow you to be a high trust and therefore highly effective leader. Let's dig in. Number 1, the first habit is earning identity trust in the milliseconds to minutes when people first meet you. By designing, practicing, and polishing a high trust first impression, we're often asked to introduce ourselves as leaders and we make it up on the spot, and it's probably not bad, but it's also unlikely to be fantastic. And that gap can cost you enormously because 90% or more of identity trust is earned in the first 10 minutes when you first meet someone. And the expert move here is when that moment comes to introduce yourself, don't do a resume dump, name, rank, and serial number. Instead, share a little bit about who you are and why you do what you do, ideally in the form of an origin story that speaks to where you've come from, what you've learned, and why those experiences have transformed why you care and what you do today as a leader and what you're committed to producing in the world as a result. Habit number 2, be a great conversationalist. Easier said than done. Great conversationalists are people who make it easy for others to follow along, to participate, to feel welcome, to feel appreciated inside of that conversation. Conversations aren't just about something. They quite literally create the future. A better relationship with someone, alignment on a mission or a vision, or conversations can break trust. But either way, they're creating something. And if you're not intentional about what you're creating, you're rolling the dice. How you are generous in conversations is based on how many questions you ask, how you listen and respond, the stories you tell, and how easy it is for people to be in a conversation. We've all felt what it's like when we ask someone, maybe our kids, how was your day? And they say, fine. It's that kind of pulling teeth experience that breaks trust in people. Great leaders are great conversationalists. Habit number 3, don't just make promises, make responsible promises. A responsible promise is a regular promise that we make as leaders all the time. Added to it is the simple habit of saying, what else do you trust me to do? What else do you expect me to do? So that you can learn people's expectations over and above what you've promised, knowing that they'll judge you on those expectations, whether or not they've stated them. That's unfair. But if you would like a secret weapon to be the highest trusted leader in every room or Zoom, get into the habit of not only making promises, but making them responsible by asking about, negotiating, and where it makes sense, committing to meet the expectations of your team, and being clear where you can't. People don't mind being turned down in advance. They hate being disappointed in the end. Habit number 4, don't listen actively. Listen empathically. What's the difference? Active listening is making a show of listening, nodding along, repeating back what you hear, often verbatim, maybe even taking notes. And is that bad? No, of course not. It's good, but it doesn't go far enough because most of what someone's communicating isn't in the words they say. It's in how they feel that makes them say what they say. And how they feel depends on what really matters to them underneath all of that. What every human is seeking in every conversation and interaction with you as a leader is to be seen, understood, and truly gotten. Because when you pay attention, which is an expensive act, and you notice that every human being needs fundamentally, first and foremost, to be seen and understood and gotten, and only then to be offered a solution, can you see why listening to fix often gets you in trouble versus listening to feel, which is the heart of empathic listening. It quite literally means to allow yourself to feel what other people feel through your listening. Habit number 5 is restoring trust when it's been broken or tarnished. And similar to listening, restoring trust by apologizing is something I highly recommend against, at least leading with an apology. because then what you're apologizing for is that you feel bad or guilty that you've broken a promise. High trust leaders follow this framework. First, they state what happened, the thing that caused the break in trust. Not with reasons, certainly not with excuses, because the difference between reasons and excuses are in the ear of the beholder. What feels like a reason to me often sounds like an excuse to you. So simply state what happened, and then ask about how it's impacted the person that you're speaking to, team members. Because what really matters to them isn't that you broke the promise. It's the impact of that break on them that really matters. And that's what they're seeking a remedy for. So if you ask, please tell me, what was the impact of this broken promise on you? Your team members may be reluctant at first, but with a little encouragement in a safe space, they'll tell you how it landed for them, why and how it hurt them or injured them. And they'll also point to your potential remedy, which is the next step, where you can fix what you've done, address the impact, or be clear if you can't. And sometimes all you have to do is promise to fix it in a certain time and be sure to meet that promise. And then only can you apologize. But now you get to apologize for the impact you had, not just because you felt bad. Habit number 6, ask more and better questions. As leaders, we're expected to know all the answers. But sometimes having all the answers isn't the best answer. We find people and leaders who ask more questions as more likable, more intelligent, and more trustworthy. And those are critical attributes that you want your team to believe that you have, and indeed do have, because you have the habit of asking more and asking better questions. Last but not least, stop telling your team what to do. Allow them to see for themselves. How do you do that? Give your team the gift of feeling like a solution is theirs, that it's their idea, they had agency over it, and with that agency and ownership comes commitment. You do that by telling stories. Because stories can contain the things you want people to do, but they're illustrated by a character similar to your team taking those same actions, getting the results that the character in the story got. And they will see for themselves in your story the opportunity for them taking similar steps and getting similar results. The beauty is when they leave the interaction, it'll be their idea, their commitment, and their opportunity to act and get a result. So where to start? Well, the first trust war to win is identity trust. I recommend you watch our video on how to build high trust first impressions using your personal origin story. Let's build trust and inspire our teams to trust us, to believe us, and to follow us, starting right now, one habit at a time.